Have the
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up. I see smiling faces in the house already tonight, and I
Yeah.
am very, very happy to welcome all of our listeners and all of our viewers. You have tuned in to Authors Up, a forum for authors by authors, and we have two other authors on the screen tonight to welcome you, and they've got their own personal welcome for you. But I'm going to say hello to both of them. How you doing this evening, Ruth?
I am well, Andrea. Thank you for asking. Hope you are as well.
I am. And
Good,
She's so
good.
sweet. She's so sweet.
I
Queen,
know,
Sweet
right?
as abuela.
and how are you, Queen Victoria?
Queen Victoria's fine. Propped up on these pillows. I'm doing all right tonight.
Tell you what, you looking good, girl. Oh,
Thank
you
you.
looking
Thank
so
you. Thank you
pretty
so
tonight.
much.
So
Appreciate you.
pretty.
How are you
Well,
both doing?
huh? What'd you
I
say?
said, how are you both doing tonight?
I'm well.
Good.
I
Mhm.
got no reason to complain. I am in good spirits. I feel good. I feel really good. I'm
Well,
up and
good.
happy
Good.
tonight. I'm going to learn something tonight too, and I hope everybody who's tuning in will feel the exact
Exactly.
way. But we are going to get started as we always do with our weekend review, and we're going to start off with Miss Ruth because we know where Ruth has been, we know what she's been
Okay.
doing, but we want to hear it from her. How are you doing, Abuela? And how is little Missy? What?
I was gonna say, at this point, it's all about her. So I'm good, but we just gonna talk about her. So yes, she is doing awesome. Got to spend 2.5 weeks with her, and
Oh.
it's one of those things. My husband texted my daughter afterward. He's like, "Does she miss Abuela yet?" And she's like, "I don't know. She's kind of grumpy." But I'm like, "Yeah, she obviously misses
That
me."
means
So,
yes.
yeah, absolutely, yes, yes. So she was just, I mean, because my daughter's still on maternity leave, so I was there just to, you know, provide help,
Yeah.
until she goes back to work in a couple weeks. And, her husband's in school as well. So, his schedule maybe, one day it's 7 to 7, another day it's 12 to 5. So,
Oh,
I was just there and I'm an early riser. So I get up at 6:30, I take a shower, make my breakfast. So I'm sitting there and I'm not just twiddling my thumbs, but my daughter got to the point where she would just get up in the morning, change her daughter's diaper, and bring her and a bottle out to me. And I'm like, cool, I'm
see
good
you
now.
later.
So,
Go back to sleep. Bye bye.
yeah, and she did.
Don't
And
need
she
to.
did. So, I mean, I was there to fulfill my purpose. And,
Oh,
I
good.
didn't tell you guys, I started reading to her.
Oh,
So,
good.
yeah, I had gotten her like a bunch of the Dr. Seuss books.
Yeah.
And even now, she likes Are You My Mother by P.D. Eastman. She liked, which one was it? Green Eggs and Ham, but she
Oh.
didn't care for One Fish, Two Fish. That one, she would just get grumpy.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'd be like,
Okay.
all right, cool. Well, we won't read that
We're
book.
gonna read that
So,
way.
We
That's
stopped at a
sweet.
bookstore one day. Yeah, got her cat in a hat. She kind of liked that one, but yeah. So I'm gonna make up. I can't make anybody a reader, but we go start off right. So she can be reading.
Yeah, she will be a reader and
Yes,
potentially a writer.
exactly.
Pretty sure of that.
She has no
Yes,
choice. Her.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, my daughter has been sending regular videos and photos to help me not go into withdrawal. So, because I won't
Oh,
be seeing her again for another couple of weeks when she gets baptized. So,
oh.
yeah, that's
What
where
will
I've been.
you do after that?
I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So,
I know.
Well,
yeah.
the one you sent of her laughing, that was just I kept
Oh
playing it
my
over again. I
God.
was
Yeah.
like,
I love it. I love it. It's
The
something
best sound
about
in the world.
giggles that just
Mhm.
warms your heart,
it does.
Absolutely. So, Andrea, how was your week?
It was good.
Good.
There you have it.
I should maybe ask you, do you remember what you did last week? Look, we all know where our memories are. We
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
could like,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
yeah.
we had a senior moment this past week.
I did. I had a good time last weekend though because I was able to provide some companion care for my friend. So that was good. It was interesting. It
Hmm.
was and one day I was talking to somebody else, and one day I don't know whether it will be When Life Speaks or what it will be or how it will be, but there we were talking about the need for discussing aging. Um,
Hmm.
in there's a lot of things out there. There are a lot of things about the need for self-care for the caregiver, and
Right.
being watching different things, but it's a different thing when you go and talk with somebody who's in the midst of the process,
Right.
and how they feel and what they think, and it was really funny because there were some instances, and I could tell that she was kind of anxious and trying to do things fast and get things done. And I said, look, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to go at a particular pace. We
Right.
don't have, we got time to do it any way we want to do it, and that's the blessing of it. But it also puts you at a scary place because you don't want to be a burden. You don't want to get in
Mhm.
the way. And there are lots of, I was talking to Pastor Kelvin yesterday, and we were talking about just the different levels of that. And that's kind of been sitting with me
Mm.
through the week, not in a bad way, but in a way of gratitude and in a different way of understanding what happens to us if we're blessed.
Amen. Amen.
Blessed,
Amen.
because you got to be blessed to get old enough to be able to feel some of the things we're feeling and go through some of the
Exactly.
things we're
Exactly.
going through. So I don't know how all of that's going to play out, but it did sit with me during the week, and I had a good week. I had some educational things happen. I had some fun things happen. I ate some good stuff that I enjoy eating, and it was good. I
All
just
right.
woke up every day. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. So it's all good, as they say. It's all good. So I had a good time. Had a good time.
Good.
And who's next on the weekly list?
It would be me
It
at
would
the
be
bottom square, the bottom square. This past week, I'm gonna say is life. We know we say life be lifing. Yeah, life is lifing. And we literally went from work to a funeral. One of my best friend's brother passed about a week and a half ago, and she discovered him deceased about a month and a half after her grandbaby. So life has just been life, and so we had the funeral service. But after that, after the funeral, it was Tuesday. We ended up going out to eat, and then we just laughed and joked, and we had said that we were not going to wait until a funeral.
Right.
until we get together again. So I've been trying to stick really close to her, make sure she's doing okay. Because subsequently her mom is not doing well now. So it's just been that kind of week. My mother was in the hospital, so she's now out. So it's just juggling, that juggling act. But one thing that I want to share with our listeners and viewers is um, I have just been reminded of in these moments. I got a book that's called Information Your Family Should Know. And it's a very thin book, and I got it from Amazon. It was about $8. But this information is going to be priceless when I finish with it. It has insurance information, my policies, my bank accounts, um, and the life wishes. It covers a plethora of things. And I would just encourage everybody to get that kind of book or pull together that kind of information so that when it is time, I want to make it easier for my children. They wouldn't know what to do because they've never done this before, done it before. If they had to handle anything in my stead, they need to know what to do. And so this book is just more than just a password. It's a guide, to kind of put them in the right path about what I would want. So like I said, it when we have those life situations, it was just a reminder that I don't have this done. And I keep putting it off, but I'm finally gonna get to it. So I just want to remind everybody to do that. And you know, again, this last week was, while it didn't have some good, altogether good moments, it wasn't altogether bad. I ended up the week, my shoulder hurt. You talk about them life things going on. Ah, I could not raise my shoulder above right here. And I had to end up going to the doctor, and they gave me a shot, y'all. So I can move it a little bit better than here. It's still not going too far, but it doesn't hurt as bad as it did. Them shots them shots they give you at the doctor's office that they can't give you a pill for. Oh my God. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for health care. I'm grateful to have health insurance where I could go to the doctor. I tell everybody, I have insurance. I'm telling you, I stub my toe, I'm going to the doctor. I will use my insurance because that's what I'm paying for. But tonight is a good night. I'm feeling really good, and so
Well,
I'm just grateful.
before we go on and turn things over to Ruth, who has just some good information lined up for us tonight, I did want to make a comment. The little book that you were talking about,
Yes.
I do want to say, don't fear.
Hmm.
Don't fear these things.
Yes.
When my mother got to a certain age, she would sit me down and she said, I need you to know what I want. I need you to know this. And I was like, I don't want to
You
hear
want
it.
to talk
I don't
about
talk
right?
about it. I don't need
Correct.
to know about it. That's a long way away. But thank goodness she did not listen to me, because when she transitioned, life was easy. It was
Yes.
easy. I knew
Yes.
exactly what she wanted for her service, down to the songs that she wanted sung.
That's it.
Just and nobody, they in my family, they refer to me as the general. So when the general came in, it was like, hey, these are the marching orders. There's no
That's
discussion. There's no. But I think Aunt Anna would have wanted. No. This is what Aunt Anna said she wanted, and this is what we gonna do. Good deal. Let's
Exactly.
move it. So
Exactly.
I encourage everybody, if they don't get that book, to be able to have the information and to make people feel at ease and at peace
We're
about
having the
something that is
conversation.
inevitable. Something
Exactly.
inevitable.
Exactly.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Victoria. And I see Miss Leah's in the house. Leah,
Hey,
I just
Leah.
I continue to applaud you, Miss Leah, and your work and what's coming up with your gala. I'm looking forward to it in October, and we're going to be talking more about that a little later on, and on some other programs and things that we have coming up on ALH Broadcasting. But Miss Ruth has some information to for us tonight that we need. This is one of the programs where, um, you know how when you're little and you have that spring tonic. This is dating y'all. This is taking me back, way back.
Yes,
But you had that spring tonic and that fall tonic. You didn't like it, but it was good for you.
that's it.
Ruth's got some information for us tonight. We may not like it.
Are you talking about castor oil? A teaspoon of castor oil.
You remember when?
Yep. Yeah. Cod liver oil is what
Oh,
my
cod
mom
liver oil, yeah.
used. Oh.
Juice, in orange juice, like you could mask the taste. Not happening. Oh, that stuff was awful. But Ruth has some information for us tonight, and I just want everybody to pay attention, be alert, and listen, because it, like I said, there's some things that we don't like to think about. We don't want to know about them. We think that it doesn't concern us, but it does. Ultimately, it does. So, Ruth, I'm going to turn this over to you, and you're going to give us some information about the infamous AI.
News we could use.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrea. Talking about dating, when I started putting this outline together, my first thought was the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be a certain age demographic to remember them. But, we all remember Rosie, the robot, and then having the house computer, and it would generate whatever you wanted or asked for, clean the house, do whatnot.
That was AI, huh?
That was AI.
Was AI.
Yeah. So, and then you think about, in terms of, and honestly, this is more where my thought goes to. Go back to the 80s and the Terminator movie. First time I saw that scared and I mean, as bad as it was scary, and the older you get, the more you realize, oh, there's also iRobot,
Right.
Robots taking over. We're creating these sentient beings, and they're basically taking over because they're gonna replace us. Wow. So, I say all that, because that is, it used to be, I heard it somewhere, people would talk about science fiction. Well, there's less fiction in it, and it's now becoming science. So
right.
we've gone from the robot, we've gone from the Jetsons to now AI. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because, when it first came out, my thought was, well, it is what it is. It's just the next step in the technological advances, but that's not necessarily true, especially for the writer. So I wanted to talk tonight about what AI is, how it affects the writer, how it potentially affects the writer. And then, this is less tips, this is what you need to do, but it's more of a decision most writers have to make. So what I learned was AI is really AI is just a broad term. It's more of an LLM, which stands for large language model. These are specialized AI models designed to understand and generate human-like text. They can generate, they can create new text, articles, stories, translate languages. They can have conversations, and content summarization. I know we can all log into just about anything now, and it'll ask us, do you want me to summarize it? I know every time I open PDF, Adobe, it says, oh, this looks like a large document. Would you like me to summarize for you? I'm like, no, I'll read it. Thank you. So, so it, on the surface, and this is how I looked at it, in the beginning when it came out, it was just like, oh, this is just, next level. I'm not going to use it, and then they started out with the ChatGPT and, all the different programs. And now it seems like everybody's coming out with their own version of it. To provide services. It can generate images. It can generate summarizations. It can generate, basically, if you can imagine it, it can generate it to a certain degree. So
I haven't seen images yet. I've seen text, but images?
Images as
Oh,
well.
wow.
As a graphic designer, there's certain like I subscribe to Adobe, um, their stock photography, and now it now offers AI generated images
What?
along with the photographs or graphics that are designed by artists.
Okay.
So, um,
Is that where the little people are coming from? I get things on my feed now,
But the
and it's like
babies?
the baby versions of Judge Judy
Yes.
or is that an
yes.
AI generated thing? What?
Yes, apparently
Oh.
they generating. I've seen videos that are being generated as well. Now I don't know. I haven't. I have played with it to generate images. I tell it exactly what I want it to look and how I want it to look, and it'll spit out what it believes I would like. Now there are flaws with it, but this is and that's the key. That's the thing that you have to take away from it, that it is a learning model. So it is learning what you like. It is learning what, based on what you input will be outputted. So it's a learning
Mhm.
software, basically. But yes, I've seen videos this week on Disney stuff. I've seen the images, the babies, all of that. That is AI. So,
Wow.
um, and the thing is, it has its place, and we're going to discuss that probably on a later show because I didn't, because again, when it came out, it was just like, oh, it doesn't affect me. I'm just going to ignore it because I'm never going to use AI to write, and that's the thing. I started reading on how teachers were saying, well, I'm starting to see it in the classroom. Kids
Hmm.
are starting to use it to write their papers.
Hmm.
I'm like, that's not good. And then you're reading that journalists are starting to use it to write their articles. Um, and then authors are being flagged for any AI content that they had. And I thought,
Hmm.
well, I'm never going to use it. So I'll just stick my head in the sand. And you can't do that. Because what I found out was um, one of my books had been pirated and used to train one of these AI models.
Oh,
So
wow.
there was an article that came out in the Atlantic, I think back in April, and they created a search engine for books that had been this round. The books had been pirated by or used by Meta to train their AI model because, and this is a quote, Meta decided that it would be too expensive and it would take too long to license all of that to teach their robots. So it would take too long and it would cost too much. They didn't want to pay the little person. So
Oh, wow.
I went in and I found one of my books. Fortunately, you guys' books were not on there. Another author that I know, 22 of her books had been pirated. Another author who has been, writing for the last 20 years, she has, I think, 150 books on the market. 130 of them had been pirated and used
Oh
to
Wow.
train these
my gosh.
models.
Wow.
So yeah, it's and again, this is not the first lawsuit to come out because that was the response. There was an authors guild that included everybody whose work had been stolen by Meta, and they created a lawsuit. Now this is Meta, and their argument is, hey, this is free use. We're not going to profit off of it, but
Oh, really? No, we don't believe that.
no, we don't. So, and at that point, it's just, I began looking at it differently because it's like, okay, well, my work was used to train this. So part of me is in that, and I never agreed to that.
Agree to that. You're right. Right.
And then that's one thing. And this is just one model. There's also, again, there are several lawsuits out there you know, for authors who and journalists and even like medical papers and things like that for people whose work had been stolen. So,
Wow.
and the thing is, when you bring AI into the creative field, what you're removing is the soul of the work, because
Yeah. Yeah.
AI is not to the point where it can write a complete work. It is, honestly, it's lazy. It just,
Okay.
if you've ever tried it and seen it, it gives up. It starts off well, but it gives up. So that's telling you right there that it was never meant to be used in that
Exclusive.
great scope. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
AI is meant to be an assistant.
Assistant and help generate an idea, maybe, or
Yeah, or to
further a
generate.
thought.
But here's the thing too, and you know, the thing is, and I liken it to I read this I guess analogy or fable, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
about this farmer who came across a cocoon and saw a butterfly struggling to get out. So he snipped it and helped the butterfly come out. But what happened was it could not fly because its wings had not been developed as
Mm,
it came out of the cocoon.
exactly.
And and I have to pull these up because I saw these this week. There was a study done, and I tried to find the resources, and I'll have to check them out, find them later. But what they were saying was that um, using the AI, Chat GPT, in creative circumstances, because there is a way to use it, um, it basically stunts your development.
Hmm.
They're saying that 83% of the people who use ChatGPT to write couldn't remember anything they wrote just minutes later. 11% forgot when they used Google or their own brain. They said that the human brain, when left to think for itself, fires on all cylinders. In contrast, the AI assisted writing risks leaving that engine idle. So when chat gpt users were forced to write alone, their brains stayed flat. They did like a scan of the brain. Their brains, the waves stayed flat. Their aces got worse. Muscle memory didn't recover. Meanwhile, those who wrote without AI finally tried chat gpt. Their brains sparked at first, then settled into steady active rhythm. That's cognitive debt. When the bot does the thinking for you, your brain stops training. And then
Hmm.
when you need it, it might not respond.
Not
Oh, wow.
wow.
So literally you're stunting your own development. And again, I'm talking about using AI for writing or for anything creative.
Hmm.
So, you know, I'm not trying to be a, negative Nancy or a doomsday, but part of what you have to realize is, there are, and even now I keep seeing every once in a while journalists or authors who are losing publishing contracts because they are using AI.
Oh, really?
Hmm. Journalists who are, who have to, now admit that, okay, this is what I wrote has AI in it. And it's just, part of it feels like a betrayal because, again, we all read or we follow somebody because of their voice. But now
Hmm.
you're finding out that part of that voice is a machine,
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, that would
uh,
change it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. And the thing is, for us as writers, it's taking jobs away. There was another gentleman that I followed on the newsletter, his newsletter, and his job was debunking sci-fi, conspiracists. Now he cannot, he used to get guest spots. He used to write for magazines. He hasn't gotten any of those because people are now turning to AI to write that for them. What
Hmm.
you would write and charge, they now get AI to do it for free.
Oh,
So,
wow.
the thing about this is that, whether you agree that it's, losing the soul of the creativity is gone, people are losing their jobs over this. And I'm not saying, hey, we need to go back, but you need to consider that,
Yeah.
every creative has a decision to make whether they utilize AI or not. And again, I do believe it's got its place. We can't sit here and go, oh, I'm just never going to use it, because that was my first thought. And the truth is, that's just not going to work. Again, I open Google, the first response is AI says, and I can't turn it off. My Microsoft, I can't turn it off.
Right.
Anything else?
I think that's what gets me about it, and what is disturbing to me about it, is somehow with all of these things, and even the social media, the Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is that you use, at some point the option to use it begins to go away.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me about AI. Is that we will get to a place where it's like getting in a loop sometimes on Facebook with these reels or something, that you just can't make them go away. You can hit that X 100 times and that thing will still continue to pop up. It'll still continue to be there. And I don't want to be forced into using it if I don't want to. It's a good thing, but the more power that it's given, and I'll just, because I don't know another way to say it, the more we risk being at a place where you're going to have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to use AI in order to do whatever it is I'm trying to do. I'm going to have to use it for that writing piece, or that whatever, or in order to make myself marketable in the areas that you were talking about, Ruth, where people are beginning to lose jobs and things like that. And that's what's disturbing to me, because for those of us who are not tech savvy, we can't afford to not be tech savvy. You've got to get in there, and I put myself at the top of the list, because look how long I fought doing this. I to go live. I didn't want to do it.
And now, did we do it another way?
And at the time, one of the things that the guests would ask me is, do I have to be on the air? Is anybody going to see me? And I tell them, no. It's just going to be audio. It's radio only. You're safe. You're good. Not worry about it. And they were like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do the interview now. Well, it just got to a place, and thankfully, with the help of my cohorts and co-hosts, they were like, "What? Come on, do this. Let's go ahead. We can make it happen."
We can do it.
And now it's it's a piece of cake. It's where some of the things that you're seeing even tonight, our changing of the screen and going back and forth, is to make it work for you.
Yeah.
And to make it work for you in a way that is not dangerous to you and doesn't take away what's in you that you're trying to create. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then that's the thing I think about, because I started using, there were 2 books that I did use AI covers for until, my experience with Meta. And the thing is that I realized, when I opt, I pay for a subscription, but the thing is, they may sell their work, for the images. They may sell their work to Adobe, or they may be licensing it, which means that they get a cut. So every time I use AI, they're not getting that cut, So now I am contributing to them losing money,
Right.
And that's the thing. And it's just, my thing is this. We all have our talents, and then we all have skills. And, there's certain skills that we will develop, even though that is not our talent. But the thing is, there are certain programs, and this is just my opinion. And again, I'm not trying to say, okay, I'm older, things shouldn't change. That is not what I'm saying. But the thing is, when you go on this, suddenly everybody who has Canva is now a graphic designer.
Right.
And
Right.
I went to school for graphic design. So,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
now, when I was working, as a graphic designer, people would argue with me because they're like, well, no, I'll just take it in Canva. I got this. And I'm just like,
It's
but you
not the
broke like
same.
6 graphic design rules in what you just put out.
Okay.
So, the thing is, now you're minimizing, and I thought, I read this last week, and it said, when we're all criminals, none of us are criminals. They were
Uh,
talking about, it was a political reference, but the
yeah,
the
yeah,
truth remains, if we're all graphic designers, none of us are graphic designers. And
yeah.
that's the thing, we are authors. We're not trying to gatekeep that. I'm not trying to gatekeep graphic
Mm-hmm,
design.
mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
not trying to gatekeep anybody writing, but the thing is, what are you outputting? And is it developing you? There comes a place where, again, AI is useful. I'm not saying that it's not. But if you're using it in creative ways, what is the cost of that? You
Right.
know, that is my biggest question. That is the thing that I've taken out from this. What is the cost of me making this decision? Because here's the thing, the one author that I mentioned that 22 of her books had been pirated, she jumped off of Meta, jumped off of social media. She had to return, and she's like, I'm doing this grudgingly. But then she was like, I didn't want to, but I used AI, a company called 11 Labs, to narrate her books so that she could generate income by selling audiobooks. She's like, I
Hmm.
didn't want to, but the cost difference. So her first, I think for 2 of her books, she had done it the old fashioned way. And then her latest ones, she was using 11 Labs. She's like, thousands of dollars versus 100.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. It's no brainer. No brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we,
So,
we keep hearing, like for me, I just kept hearing Chat GPT, and I have no idea what that really is or
mhm,
does.
yeah.
The potential, and you keep hearing it. Finally, I'm gonna have to address it. Like, what is this, and how can that help me in the
Yeah.
writing process?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Again, that's why I stated, this is not about tips. This is about information. Because, like I said, I buried my head in sand for the first, year after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like, no, everybody, and it's the same thing as everything else. We're only responsible for ourselves. So we have to
Yeah.
decide, what is the cost of me using this? And can I live with that? Is it a price that's going to be too high to pay, or is it I'm okay with it? And I think, again, there are certain places that you shouldn't go. As a
Mm-hmm.
creative, if any one of my children came home, they're all adults now, but if they were like, yeah, no, I use Chat GPT to write my paper, I'd have been like, oh,
Uh-uh.
absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. That's wrong. But the thing is, where is the line? Where's the
Yeah.
line?
You
Because,
know,
you're doing
I
it
was
at
going to
the,
say I had a coworker of mine, and I'm not, trying to be funny, but I know this coworker of mine does not write the best emails, right? About 2 weeks ago, um, d- she had to write me an email and requesting a help, right? And the way this thing was laid out, I knew she didn't write that. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I read it over a couple times and said, I know she didn't write that. She
yeah.
has some help. So, and that sounded like it came straight from Chat GPT or whatever it's called. Because
Yeah.
it was so well done. I could have written that, and I'm a good writer when it comes to that kind of things. And I was like, wow, she really wrote a good email. And I was like, she had a little help with that.
See, and that's the thing too, because now authors are getting accused of using Chat GPT, and they're like, no, I just learned grammar when I was supposed to. So, but they're also losing contracts. They're also losing, to
Wow.
be accused. And that's the thing, we live in such a fractured society. People are just like, oh, well, everybody should use AI, but the moment you do, they're like, oh, well, you must have used AI. I'm not going to subscribe to you, or, I'm not going to follow you
Right,
anymore.
right,
And
right,
it's just like, no, I learned the rules of grammar. I listened in English class. I paid attention.
We
This
did
is how I write,
that,
you
right.
know? So it's just, it's, honestly, there are no, there's no straight answers. There's no good, there's no bad.
Mhm.
It's like everything else in life. We are at a turning point literally in society, you know, and it is about each one of us deciding how we're going to use it. And like I said, we're going to do follow up on how, because I know my son uses it for business development, you
Mhm.
know, and that's fine. Again, it's an AI assistant. Again, going back to the Jetsons, if I can go, hey, clean the house, and some robot comes out of the wall and does it, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Do you remember Kim Possible?
Yes.
Remember Kim Possible? We are we are seeing stuff on Kim Possible. That was a cartoon where
Yeah.
we would do the video chats. That was on Kim
Mhm.
Possible.
I'm telling you, like there's no fiction to science fiction anymore. It is
Right.
we are literally seeing all these things come to pass. So yeah, we are in a pivotal point in history. It's just each one of us, like I said, there's certain line we should not cross. When it comes to
Right.
creativity, don't kill your own development. Don't
Right,
kill
right,
your
right,
own
right.
brain
I
cells.
like that. I like
Yeah, we are literally seeing, I went almost completely digital and had to go back to notebooks, had to go back to writing out my journals because I was forgetting stuff. I
Oh,
was losing, I was just cognitively, I was declining. And I'm hoping that I'm at the place where I stop that because I'm beginning to remember stuff now. Like literally, I mean, the ADHD, I will forget why I'm walking to the next room. But
right.
there's certain things now that I can remember because I have a pen and a
The
notebook.
paper. That's it.
So,
That's it. That's it.
there are certain things that we don't want to kill our own development just for the ease of stuff.
Right, right.
So, I
right.
Very
think
good
that
point. Very good point.
yeah, I think that we all need to make the decision how we're going to use AI, learn about it. Because
Okay.
again, it took my work being stolen for me to learn what an AI actually is, the large language model, and how it works and what it does. And here's the thing, it's not always accurate. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about, and these two authors were like, they use it in their businesses and they have like graphic design, they use it in editing, they use it in all of this, but even they were like, yeah, no, at some point this AI model, which, and they were comparing like four of them, they were saying it will output, like you ask it to reference something and they will like
Mhm.
reference an article or something, and they're like, all right, can you send me a link? Like, no, I made that up.
Uh, oh wow. Wow.
So it is you don't take, again, it's something you have to work with, it's something you have to learn about, but it's not something you take at face value. It's not going to write your book for you.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
It is not, that artwork that it puts out. If you haven't seen some of it, some of the bad ones, people got three arms, six fingers,
Yeah,
none of
yeah.
it makes sense. But again, it has its place. You just have to figure out the cost of what you're asking it to do and how it can benefit you and what it is robbing from you, to be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah.
I like
So
that point. First of all, find out about it because I'm glad we're having this conversation because I really
mhm,
hadn't really thought a lot about it and thought how could it help in the writing process, period.
mhm,
So the first thing is information, finding out what it really is and what it can do.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Ruth, you mentioned, having a part two and getting into this again at a later time, and I'm glad you did that because I think the how is kind of the next step.
Mhm,
You know, what is the cost, and are you willing to pay the price for having the convenience, or however you want to think of AI and its benefits, or the thing that it doesn't do. And I think that we need to be able to take a look at that. Now, if I'm going to use AI safely, and without, you know, pirating or without doing any of those things, how would I do that? You know, what should I be looking at as I make my decision? What are the things that I need to pay attention to, so that I don't lose, so that I don't kill my creativity, as you put it, and you know, I don't get at a place where I'm just churning things out. You know, we don't want to be in, you know, we were meeting and talking the other day about our shows and different things, and nobody wants to do something just to do it. I don't want to turn it out just because AI can do it faster or whatever.
Right.
You know, I want to make sure that the value is still there, that the heart of it is still there, that the creativity that only I can bring. You know, you can teach me everything that you want to teach me, but you can't take the heart and soul of what I am doing and what I am saying. So how do we protect that? You know, there are a lot of levels to the house in this, and I'm glad we're going to come back and review it at another time. I thank you, Ruth, for putting together what you have put together so far,
Yes.
because it was,
Amen.
you know, even this was eye opening,
Mm-hmm.
because like you were saying in the beginning, all of a sudden it was just there.
Right.
And
Right.
I thought, who's Mita?
Right.
I mean, she's looking for a friend request too, isn't me? When
Exactly.
how did this happen?
Exactly.
You know, why is she on here every day? What is she doing? You know, so just to know the things that you have shared with us tonight, and I hope we can get it in. I think in the next couple of months we have some space where we can talk about the how and really look a little deeper
Oh,
into
absolutely.
how we can make it work for us so that we are not afraid of it
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
and
Mm-hmm.
keep our
Mm-hmm.
head in the sand about it. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
I think that's good. I think that's good. And
Yep.
we're just about, well, we're not just about, we are a little teeny bit past our time. Uh,
Yep.
we don't have to tell you to get the book, although Victoria did have some information on a book you could get that would be helpful to you in life and with the life lessons. But I hope that you got something from the program tonight. It will re-air on Saturday at 7 p.m. So if you didn't have an opportunity to catch us live tonight, that is where it will be. And we will post something so that you know, and will be encouraged, you and your friends and those who know Meta or Meta or
Mira, mira.
and all your AI buddies can get together and start. And if you're not there, this is a good place to start.
Yep.
So I thank my co-host for being with me. Of course, thank Leah for joining, and all those in the background who hide out a little bit. We thank you for being with us as well. That is all we have for you this evening. We encourage you to put us on your calendar to come back next Sunday at 7 p.m. We will be right here, and we always have something for you here on Authors Up. But I tell you what, you never ever know what it's going to be.
Amen.
We don't even know what it's going to be. So
I do. But then
you know, Ruth always knows. So come on back, and next week we'll be right here. And until then, have an absolutely amazing week on purpose. And whatever you need from us. Oh, I forgot. Ruth, do the thing you do.
yeah, I'll see. I've been for so long, you guys forgot about it. But yeah, so we are on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Search for Authors Up Show. You can catch a replay, like Andrew said, on Facebook Saturday at 7 p.m. Also, if you are a podcast person, you can download us on your favorite platform, or if you just live on YouTube, you know, that's all right. We're not judging you. Search for Authors Up Show. It will be uploaded midweek. You can also email us at authorsup@gmail.com if you have any questions. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the show, we're here. And we're going to have some exciting additions coming soon. So stay tuned.
Yes.
That's it. Well done. Well done. That's it for us for tonight. Thank you so much for joining. And like I said, we'll be here next Sunday night, 7 p.m. You never know what's going to happen when you tune in to Authors Up. Good night, everybody.
Night, Bronze Girls.